Good morning.
Good morning. We have an easy day today. Kind
Yes. Hopefully we do.
of. Okay. Well, hopefully, all of our friends are in with us today because they get to watch the full video of the house clearing.
It's I just hope, I don't want people to be disappointed. I don't go in there with a cape and all this weird stuff. And if it's not your house, it's sort of hard to understand what's going in. Margie is a really great, she explained things really good, so I think people are going to understand.
Mhm.
But like I said, there's not going to be any lightning bolts. That's for sure.
I think we need to get you a cape, and I think one of us needs to start following you, like throwing confetti.
Yeah, no.
Oh, there's one.
Next time I'll bring the pony and the horse with me and the dog. We'll just have a dog and pony show. So
There we go. So I think today, because we have a lot of good mornings, we normally show them, but because this video is like 41 minutes, no offense, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and just kind of start showing the video. We may pause in the middle if there's some really pressing questions that apply right then. Otherwise, we'll kind of address some of them at the end. But I guess without further ado,
do it. Hi, everybody. This is what you guys wanted. You wanted to see me clear a house or do something inside of a house. So we are going to try this. We don't know how this is going to turn out. But for those of you that watch on Wednesday mornings, Margie suggested a couple weeks ago that we do her house. This house is for sale. It's empty. And I have done, this is Margie, and I have done other work for you.
Yes.
So this is a really good example of questioning if you had something in your house, and then when I come out, clear it out.
That's correct.
Now you know what the house felt like when there was something in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you know what the house feels like when there's nothing in it.
Yes.
That is learning. Because now when she comes into a house and she gets that creepy feeling, now you know something is going on.
Yes.
You can't see them.
No.
You can't talk to them.
I can't.
You don't know where they're standing,
No.
but you know they're in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that feeling.
Yeah.
I've always had it. So.
Yeah.
And I thought I was crazy.
And I think most people just say, thank you, I'm not crazy. Not thank you, to the ghost.
Right.
Thank you, I'm not crazy.
That's correct.
Because they think they're crazy.
That's exactly how I
feel. You called me in August.
August 30th.
Oh, okay.
August 30th, and I called you. I asked everybody to leave. The contractors are here. I asked everybody to leave. Called you from in here. I ran your message all the way to the end. It cut me off. It's just like, poof, done. I'm like, okay, we'll see, and then be patient. So I waited, and
nothing.
Yeah.
And again, for those that are new and don't know, my phone is a corded phone. There is no caller ID on it. There is nothing on it. If I don't get a phone number or a name, I have no idea you even called. So then you came on Wednesday mornings.
I came on Wednesday, a couple of them.
I'm busy.
Yeah. So last 2 Wednesdays ago, I came on, and I think it was Melissa that recommended. Yeah, if we could only just do a video of clearing a house. I'm like, you can clear mine. I know there's stuff going on in here.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
And the comment you made, well, if it's vacant, nobody's there. And I'm like, oh no. No, there's something here.
See, how often, let me go back to August. How many people were in here working on the house on a regular basis in August, September?
Probably most of the time, 1 or 2 people, but we purchased this home in February 14th, 2 years ago.
Oh, gosh.
This is how long it has taken us because we keep having to redo everything.
Part of your business is buying homes,
Buying
fixing them
them,
up,
fixing them, and then selling them. Yeah, or we use them as rentals.
Okay.
So if we should decide to use this as a rental, I don't want any trouble.
Or yeah, from people renting it from.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, they'll, you know, they could be fighting. They can, you know, you want your tenants to be happy.
Right.
So if they're not getting along, you know,
There's
on
a
the
problem.
business side of the thing, that's a loss of rent for us.
That's right. Well, I didn't get the August message because there were people in the house and there was enough for somebody to come in the house or be a ghost in the house. And, you know, that's why I didn't get the message. Now the place has been vacant. So when you called this time, there were no ghosts.
Yeah.
I got the message.
Yeah.
And it really threw me because when I first started talking to you, I really thought this was 2 floors.
Interesting.
Well, and I know why now. What is this house? 900 square feet?
It's just under 900 square feet.
So it's not quite. Okay. You have a very unique situation in this house. You've got a portal in both bedrooms, which is so unusual.
It doesn't surprise me because when I purchased the house, the neighbors, of course, came over and started telling me everything that was going on here. The 2 people that were living here, one drank a little too much. They used to get into arguments. I mean, this person lived here from what I could see on the county records for more than 20 years.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And so they said that they used to get in horrible fights and the neighbors would kind of like lock the doors and, you know.
Okay, now keep this in mind. If this house was 2,000 square feet
Yes.
and there were 2 people in here arguing, in that particular room, they may blow open a portal.
Okay.
Okay. But if they start fighting some more, the house is so much bigger, it probably wouldn't blow open a second one.
Interesting.
But this house is so small
Gotcha.
that when they started up again, I guess they just went to the next room and blew that one open. So that's why. Now I have found 2 portals in like really bad divorce situations, murder-suicide situations,
Okay.
but just a regular house,
Yeah.
it just is a little bit unusual.
Yes.
And then you offered to do this, so this is terrific. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, when Melissa said if we could just record you clearing the house, I was like,
yeah.
I got one. I know I have one.
Yeah, and you were right.
So
Okay. Now, since I have come in, there is a ghost out of the portal.
yeah.
He's definitely came in here.
Yeah.
And he's so happy people are here now.
Well, it doesn't take long because we got here about 10 after.
Yeah, well, when I came in, he wasn't in here yet.
Uh-huh.
He showed up now,
Uh-huh.
about 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
So, and he came out of the portal in that room.
Well, both of them are over there, but this one over here,
No,
there's a back one.
the back one. That's
Okay.
when he came out of.
Okay.
So we'll do that one first. I will get information from him. I will get anything he will tell me.
Yeah.
And his first name is Clarence. So, you know, but we will. And I don't know. We'll have to see. Is he going to go back into the portal and leave? Or is he going to go to the wet light?
Gotcha.
He's got choices.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, let's go down to the other bedroom
Yes.
that is not his portal.
Okay.
Let's go to that one first,
Okay.
and let's see what the heck is going on there.
You physically want to get over
Yes,
that.
okay, so.
Alright.
said that this portal was blown open in 1976.
Wow.
How old is this house?
This was built in around the early 1940s.
Oh, okay then. Okay. He said somebody by the name of Messi blew it open.
Don't know.
Okay.
Messy?
Messi, he is saying. I have to tell you, I have a little, he rolls his words together. He's very, Cincinnati. Okay, that's where he was born. So they, more of a southern little twang to him. Linda.
Linda is the gal that I bought the house from. She's actually the executor of the estate for the gentleman that owned this house.
Okay, but she was here when this was blown open.
Well, they've had the house for quite some time, but it might be a different Linda.
Could be. And he pops in and out. He was not here in the beginning, so I don't know. When we did the house that I cleared for you before, you actually felt
Yes.
the portal. There was a portal in that house.
Yes.
Okay. What I do, I can see it. It's right there on the wall. But with people that can't see,
You can't say thing.
if you run the palm of your hand over, not against, but over an area like this, most people can feel something. They can feel wind blowing. Do you remember canister vacuum cleaners that have the tubes? If you put the tube on the palm of your hand, it would suck your hand in a little bit. Some people feel that.
Gotcha.
Some people, their stomach will do a flip. Some people will get an instant headache. Some people just get so creeped out they leave the room. It just depends on everybody's different. But if you were to go right in this area, right here. Yeah, it's been here for a while. Did you know that somebody named Sean died in this house?
No.
They never told you when you bought it.
No, it was an estate. She was living down by Dayton area, and we never met. It was a, we did it completely electronically through email and so forth, over the phone. So,
Okay. Go ahead and run your hand and see if you see a difference.
I feel a little draft right here.
Okay. Some people feel a temperature change. Some people,
Just ever, you know, and I think, is it just my mind or?
no, you're right over the spot. I'm going to
Right here,
guess,
right here.
Yep, because Clarence is here and his portal is the other one. I was curious. I wondered if he used both of them, and he doesn't. He just uses that one. I mean, you got two portals. Why can't you use either one?
Right.
Because you can't.
Okay.
Okay then.
That's
So,
we learn
there-
something every day.
You know that. You just know that. Sean's father, John, owned this house. But he lived here too, and that's when he killed, and I believe it was suicide.
I'm gonna have to check the records.
41.
I'm gonna have to check the records.
He was 41 when he died.
And when did he die?
You don't know. He's just dead. I don't know. There's just some things you just go with the flow. Okay, what we're going to do now, we are going to go into the other bedroom and see what's going on with that portal.
Okay, very good.
Margie just said
When
that.
we took the cabinets off the kitchen wall, I saw their names, their whole family, and Nixon or Nix.
Don't say their names just first. I don't know who's gonna see this. We're gonna
Gotcha,
use first names.
gotcha. So
Okay.
Lou and I did see,
Linda.
and Linda, I did see their names on the wall.
And that's what
Written,
he,
they had literally, so they,
and Messi is part of their name. That's why he called them Linda Messi.
is part of,
Their last name.
oh, okay.
Think about what I told you.
You know
I'll tell you.
I get starstruck, you know I get starstruck.
That comes out. Jesus Christ.
You want the starstruck out?
Yeah, I think so. Please.
I mean, when you're dealing with this your whole entire life, and then all of a sudden you have an answer to this, how could you not have finally through your life? I'm 65 years old and I have an answer.
Yeah, finally. Hey.
And you dare not tell anybody. They'll think you're crazy.
Oh yeah, welcome to my world. Okay, I'm not gonna point it out. You find it on this phone.
I was he in here prior
Yeah.
to see if I could find it, and I think that I wasn't sure if it was the furnace, but I thought it was this wall. And then I went to that wall,
Yeah.
and I thought it was this wall, but I actually thought it was that one.
And that one could have been where maybe another one was getting ready to blow open. That's
Gotcha.
absolutely a
Oh,
possibility.
it's really hot right here, but is that the furnace? I think it's the furnace, Marianne.
Yeah, right from that it is.
Yeah.
And it's
I-
over a little bit more that way anyway.
I'm not feeling this.
Okay.
I wish I could get better at this. No, I don't.
I was gonna say, take that back. You don't
No.
want to get better at it.
No, I can't feel that one at all.
Okay, Clarence. Clarence is, why don't you come over here with me, Margie? Clarence is standing right in front of this door here.
Okay.
And Lucasville, he was put to death from prison. He killed two people.
Clarence.
Killed two people.
Nice job, Clarence.
And he says he was a hitman when he was alive.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Nah, I don't think so, but that's what he says. I don't know. First of all, and I'm not being picky here, but he is a black man, and I don't really know too many black hitmen. You know, if his last name was Italian, I'd go, yeah, maybe, but he's not.
Yeah.
But maybe. Oh, drugs. Oh, well, yeah, maybe he's telling the truth then.
Okay.
Maybe he did for drugs. But he killed Alan. Beat him to death in prison. So that's where his second murder came in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They fought. They said it was over a TV show, but it wasn't. Apparently Alan was coming on to him, and he doesn't do that. Okay then. And apparently over the years, some of that might have been going on in this house. And that's why he was giving these people a hard time. So, what do you want to ask him? He's your ghost.
You know, my contractor and his wife were working here for a little bit, just recently. I always want to call him Doug, and I know Doug is not his name. Greg and his wife. And they got into some really bad arguments here while they were here. In fact, people would come to the door and she would scream at the people coming to the door Was he agitating them?
Yeah, anybody that would come in here, he would aggravate. Betty gave you all this information about the house?
I don't know.
The neighbor?
We have a Leroy next door, and I don't know what his wife's name, but Leroy
Gave you the information.
gave us a lot of
Okay.
the
Okay.
information.
Okay. So you tell me, what do you want to ask him?
Oh, wait a minute. Betty is, I believe, another landlord that
On the street.
on the street.
4 houses they own.
Yes.
He knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she, this is just a general statement. You buy a new house, find the oldest neighbor on the street, and you'll find everything you need to know about your new house. Anything, believe me.
He was his first house when he moved in here. He's now, Betty and Betty and her husband are now over 80 years old. It was their first time home when they bought here.
Okay, well, like I says, they bought, and they're all on this street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right. And 2 of his houses have a portal in them, and he's been in them.
Interesting.
Just stopping at every station.
Yeah.
Just seeing what's going on in everybody's house.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So I really, because of the activities that go on and the frustration that I feel when I come here, I don't really have any questions that I know that I could ask him. I just wanted
When Sean comes here, he hasn't crossed over. He's the one that breaks things. People that come out of a portal, the only way they can hurt your roof is from the inside. It would be Sean that messed with it on the outside.
Gotcha. Yeah, because the garage roof, these roofs are all a year old.
Okay.
And the garage roof and the fence, blown off, brand new, blown off. The fence blown down. It's just, the latches break on fences. The fence boards break.
Yeah, that's Sean.
It's
bad.
It is.
Yeah, it's bad.
It'll be in February 2 years.
After today, once these are closed, he's debating if he's going to go and look back at the hole or not. He doesn't know if he wants to go to the light. He's worried about killing 2 people. He's afraid that if he goes into the light, he's going to hell. I'm not a psychic, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, what can I say? So there's nothing else you want to ask him?
When Jack was working here, Jack had some physical health problems. Was that a part? Did he cause any of that?
They can't touch you and give you something. But if you've got an illness, they can make it worse, aggravate it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And if you're taking meds, they're not going to be working like they should.
Gotcha.
But you have to understand, these people, this happens more when people are living on the property. These people were just in and out. So unless they were there in here for 5 or 6 days in a row, probably not.
Well, we had the one contractor did. He had such a bad fight with his wife. He came and he was living here for a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow.
Staying in the front bedroom.
Well, then, yeah, it could have affected him then.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
I have nothing except for because I don't like being here because it just feels creepy.
Okay, let me go back. We'll go back into the sitting area and you think if there's any more questions and then we'll come back and we'll close them.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Clarence is standing right here against this wall. First of all, let me ask him, which nobody did. he was put to death on, it hasn't been that long, 2011. So he hasn't been dead that long. Clarence, when you go into a portal, what do you see? All right. He said, you know those windmills the kids play when you blow on them? The
whirly wheels.
Yeah. He said it looks, surprisingly, it's not black. It's like a gray color. It's not a black hole. It's a gray color. And he says when he goes into it, it's like walking in, looking at one of those windmills spinning around. And then you go through that and you're just in a place where there's all kinds of tunnels and you can go whichever direction you want to go. So
Are the tunnels round, square? Are they concrete? Are they?
he said they're almost like tubes. See, so
Like
I
PVC?
picture it more like a subway. In my, like around, when you stand in the subway, you can see it coming through the tunnel.
Are they big? Are they big? Are they small? Are they?
He said four of them could walk across.
Oh, okay, so they're fairly big.
Yeah, well, they're not huge.
I mean, they're not. The train can't go through.
No, but they could.
I was thinking that it was.
But he said they really don't hang out together. He says there's some other places that he said some of these guys are too bad, he won't even hang out with them. Well, what's worse than killing people? Oh, kind of people you kill. Okay, I'll go along with that. And they're never shut. Any place where there is an opening you can go into, you're not limited to where you want to go. And he has been across country. He has not been out of the United States, but he has been in, not Hawaii. Okay. But he's been apparently continental United States. Oh, not Alaska either.
North America?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Canada?
No.
Mexico?
No. That's it.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I could go anywhere. I don't know if I just stayed in one place. But that's just me. Anything else you want to ask them? Or him? There's only one
You
here.
never thought of like talking to a ghost, so it's really,
What about you guys? Is there any questions you think that we should be asking?
Can he not leave the country? Is it separated out that way, or he just chose?
Oh, he wanted to.
Okay.
He just doesn't want to.
Do they mess with the workers' tools while they're here?
Oh yeah, they'll hide them, they'll
Yeah.
move them, they'll break them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're there blaming each other for taking them, or
Yeah.
you touched my stuff, or you didn't take it out.
Oh, yeah.
Was there a break in here too?
No, not while I've owned it.
Okay.
And I don't know why. Because there's been so many opportunities to have a break-in in here. I was just having this conversation with my husband, and it's just amazing that nobody has broken into this house. But the back door,
It's too creepy feeling to people.
the back door has been left open. The front door is left open. Contractors leave, and we come just to check. We periodically just come and look. The front door is open. I'm like, what are and I'm honestly on them all the time. You have to lock up. Windows are left open, and I don't mean physically, but unlocked.
Yeah.
So it's really been a very trying. One of the things that was very frustrating to me is we had a contractor come and put a new hot water tank in, and the vent to go up through the roof
was broken several times. And we, it would be fixed, we go up there and look, the vents up. Well, now we have carbon monoxide, of course, going through the house, which, of course, with all the doors and windows being all left open all the time, it's probably okay. But 3 times we had to repair that. And I still, now I'm gun shy, now I go up there and look, there's a little drop down stairs.
Right, and see, this is the thing. If they can keep breaking the same things over and over again, it's not affecting you. You wear your twist seat charm,
All the time.
so they're not around you or your husband.
Right.
But if they can keep breaking things, these people have to keep coming back. And then they figure out how to make these people that are workers go at one another. Plus, even though he is making you angry because it's costing you more money.
Exactly.
This should have been sold, 8 months ago?
It should have been sold 18 months ago.
Oh, there you go.
18 months ago, because we try to keep a property from buy, fix, and sell for 6 months. That's going to be about the timeline.
No, the property brothers wouldn't be happy with
Yeah. The problem with that is everybody thinks they can renovate a house within an hour.
Yeah, right.
Get it sold, the whole thing. Oh, it'll be a breeze. Over here next to.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is not going blind.
Oh, he should. He really should. I think he'd be better off, because God forgives everybody. If there's remorse, God forgives, in my opinion.
See, I can't even entice him. No family, no kids,
He's got to have a mom and a dad.
dead. No, his mother would yell at him more than God if he went into the line.
But she loves him. She's yelling because she loves him.
Yeah. Well. Get in then, because I'm closing it. He saluted us.
Do you mind if I record this on my phone?
No,
Okay.
go ahead. You're gonna have to touch this up
No
because
worries.
this is an oil.
Wait, you're telling me this little house has got to be touched up? No, it'll be just fine.
You couldn't feel very much before. I don't know if you want to try now and see if it feels different now that this is done.
I like to start somewhere where it's normal.
Let's see, it should be normal all the way across now.
Can't feel a thing. But I couldn't feel anything before.
That's what I mean. You'll probably be able
Yeah.
to tell more in the second one.
Yeah. That one,
Seems stronger, which is
Yeah.
odd because this one should have been stronger too.
because this is the one that
He's using all the time. Right.
Gotcha.
So, okay, let's go to bedroom number 2. Is this one you felt?
Damn it. Keep touching it. Right? Is it right there?
Yep.
Right there.
You got it.
Is it really? Shoot! I don't want to do it!
Oh boy. There's 2 reasons
reasons why I'm not giving a step-by-step of what I'm doing or what I'm using. Because the first time I do that, everyone's going to try to do their portals in their house. If you don't do it right the first time, you're going to have a big problem. So, I'm not being mean, I'm trying to save you from yourself. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why. Anything I'm using is in, full disclosure, anything I'm using is definitely in When Go Speak. And think of the stuff that you use for a curse removal. Okay, maybe see what you feel. That shouldn't feel anything now.
Honest, it's really crazy. I mean, I'm thankful crazy. There's nothing, I feel nothing now.
Good, then we did our job.
And you don't see any wiggly lines and.
No, I don't have to watch the wiggly lines. Other people have to look at the wiggly lines.
Like, it's so weird because you can't see it.
Right. Wiggly lines, I tell people when they go to a funeral and they look at the foot of the casket to see the spirit of who's ever in the casket. When you're driving on a really hot road, tar road in the summer, you can see those heat waves come off the tar. Women can do it, men aren't very good at it. But a woman can make her eyes go out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
Men can't do that.
Interesting.
I don't know why they, that's just another one of those, I don't know why men do something questions. But if you can make your eyes go out of focus and you look at the foot of the casket, you can see those wavy lines. That's the spirit that you see.
Hmm.
And some people have been able to do that to themselves, but they can see it in their house.
When you unfocus your eyes, you can see that.
No, when you have your eyes focused,
Oh,
unfocused. Yeah, when you make them foggy.
Yes.
Right.
Then
you can see it.
love that.
Okay.
Okay, now that the house is clear, Ted is here and he is going to put up the quincies.
Yes.
And you will have a choice when you sell. You can leave them for your next person who probably won't know what they are and take them off anyway.
Yeah.
Or take them down and keep them and use them for the next house or something.
Okay. Yeah. You know, Alicia, my daughter, and Neil were on several months ago, and you identified that a gal was following Neil around. And my
What on Zoom?
on Zoom.
Oh,
She's
okay.
in Columbus. So we're back on Zoom again on the 23rd. Is it January 23rd? It's a Monday. Meryl and I are gonna go over there and smudge the house, go through the whole thing. She's never smudged before, and we've done it like 4 times on our house. And then we're going on Zoom. She'll be at her house, we'll be at our house here in Homestead Falls. And we're gonna see if the entity is out of there, so she can put
the seeds
up.
Okay.
So I'm trying to keep them clear over there because they got the babies.
Oh, yeah. We only have 2 doors here.
3.
Oh, yeah, that back room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So these seeds will go up
Mhm.
as long as these seeds are in place.
Okay.
No earthbound spirit can ever come in here again.
That's awesome.
So the house will be totally clear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ted can come and get these in your tape. And if somebody wants to,
Ted, if you'll, I don't know how, I'm afraid that the contractors might see them and remove them. Can you kind of hide them a little bit?
You want me to try and drop behind you?
I don't know if I want to leave them.
Well, you can't have it both ways. Either he's gonna drop it behind the board,
Yeah, okay.
or you're gonna have to take them down and take them. What do you wanna do?
Let's drop them behind the board. Just so the house stays clear.
Okay.
Ted, thank you.
Just in case.
Yeah.
How many doors does your daughter have?
Fireplace, back slider, 2-car garage, front door,
City water, well water.
city,
How many cars?
2,
And 2 adults.
and 2 adults.
There came 2, what? You were happy? Because I did.
Oh, crap. So that was
That's not my
5,
job.
6, 7, 8, 9. Right, 9. Mary Ann, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Here. What a hugger. I don't know, you may be able to get them out of there when you sell it.
Well,
And nobody's using the garage, I'm not gonna bother to leave seats for the garage, it's not worth it.
yeah,
You don't have any
They can-
lawnmower, snow blower, nothing in there. so
Nothing.
we're
There's
not gonna
nothing
worry
in
about
there.
that.
yeah.
Normally, the garage would be protected too, but nobody's here.
And it's detached.
Right.
So,
So it's more important, obviously, if it's an attached one. So
Yeah.
we're good. The only thing that I'm curious about, I don't trust that Sean.
has,
And what, because he's not out of the portal, he's just out there floating around somewhere.
you mean outside of the
Yeah,
house?
oh yeah, he was not in the house. Clarence told me about this Sean that comes in and does all the damage, so when they died here. Do you have an attic here?
Yes,
I'm
the drop down attic.
Okay, Ted will have to see if he can pull it down, if not, your husband will do it when we go.
Yeah.
But I don't trust Sean, let's just make sure he can't come back in. And if he's hell bent, he'll try to come in through the attic.
Well, I could see how it would easily, because there's kind of like an open window off the roof. I could see how he could easily do that.
Okay, let's give Ted another seat and show him where that is.
Yeah, come on, Ted. So we got this back door, the 2 back doors.
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
A lot of people just watching, some talking in between, but not many
Questions.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things. Obviously, you guys are not professional camera people. I am so pleased that it doesn't look like the Witch Bear Blair thing where the cameras were shaking. So you guys did really good as far as that goes. You know, when I'm real quiet in somebody's house like that, I'm listening to the ghost talk. And that's why there were really quiet spots, which is annoying, but that's what I'm doing. The other thing is I'm pretty good at, I think I pronunciate words fairly clearly and my voice carries. However, my voice didn't carry really good in all the spots, you know, my head was turned. So this is maybe the only time we'll ever do this, but for the first time, you guys got to have questions. What do you want to know?
One person did ask, and they asked, you know, Carter did kill Alan, and yes, he did.
Yes, apparently you found, well, actually, I know you did because you found him before I even left the house.
Mm-hmm.
You had a picture of him. That was exactly him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, Carter killed Alan. Alan was the inmate that he killed while in prison over the TV show.
which really wasn't a TV show.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Miyagi had asked if you're able to ask spirits why they choose to go into the portal rather than crossing over. And Carter kind of answered why he didn't go. He
This
was
is afraid of retribution, yeah. And usually people that die in prison, unless they've been dead for a really long time, most of them do not go. They're still afraid of it. And he died, when was he put to death, Melissa? I don't remember. 2011, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, relatively recently compared to
Yes, so he hasn't gotten it all out of his system yet. So that's why, and like I said, I almost think I think he was more afraid to see his mother than worry what God was going to do. So
yeah, April 12th, 2011.
Yeah, I thought it was 2011. So that's 10 years. So that's, 12 years now. So that's not really that long. And that's one of the reasons, like I said, why he really didn't want to cross over.
Let's see. Paula says, can we identify a portal with the technique you used? Any special tips?
Yeah, you can. And again, the best way to do it, because seeing it with your eyes is not an easy thing to do, but your hands are really sensitive, especially the palms of your hands. And again, don't touch the wall. Just go an inch away from the wall. And when you get a feeling in the palm of your hand, and again, it could feel like wind blowing on it or somebody's pricking it, your stomach may flip, you may get an instant headache, but that's how, and only look for it on an inside wall. A portal is never on an outside wall.
So Sink asks, can a portal open in a house with quinceads? And if there's already a portal, can they still come through with the quinceads?
Yes, they can. Absolutely. A portal is blown open by live people, not dead people. And so, yeah, the seeds can protect the house from any earthbound spirits coming in. The seeds can protect the property, the house, and anybody in the house from ever getting negative energy on them if the seeds are where they're supposed to be. Now, as far as the negative energy goes, if you don't have your seed on you and you walk out the front door, you could be zapped and have negative energy put on you, but not if you have your seed. That's why I tell people, once a house is cleared, portals are closed, you're going to start fighting with somebody, take it outside. And two things, you won't blow a portal up in your house, and if you're loud enough, the cops will come and you'll stop fighting.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, can the ghosts go anywhere in the port? And they can go anywhere. And we did ask Clarence why he chose to go where he did. And if you go back and watch it, he just didn't want to go into Canada or anywhere else.
No, and it was his choice. Not a portal, because I'll never go into a portal, but if I'm earthbound, and the same thing with spirits that are in portals, you can go anywhere. I mean, the portal people can go anywhere that there's a portal that they can go into, which could be Europe or South America, anywhere. And why would they go into a plain old house? If I decided not to go to the white light when I died, which is never going to happen, but if it did, would I be sitting in somebody's house? No, I'd be swooping through Paris or the Grand Canyon, look at the stuff you could see. But, people do what they've done their whole life, and they didn't go flying through the Grand Canyon.
So Michelle asks, so me yelling at the kids all the time, I could open a portal.
Oh, it would have to be with a way more intent than that. People that are alcoholics, drug users, having a really bad time with your teenagers, your kids when they come home from college. If you've got a ghost in your house and the ghost is pushing you and your husband or spouse to fight, bad enough where you could blow open a portal, yeah. Somebody is abused physically, mentally, sexually, oh yeah. So kids, I've never known a kid to blow open a portal. Never.
Let's see. Mr. Miyagi says, but why not just say earthbound? Why go into the portal? Has any of the spirits, and we should have thought to ask Clarence this, like, what's the draw to go in versus just, hanging around outside of a portal?
It's like you must have, when we die, we have a choice, go to the white light or not. I don't know. And again, maybe that's something I have to ask. I've never asked because nobody's ever asked me. Maybe they don't have a choice. Maybe when they're that bad, maybe they can only do one of two things, go into the white or, as Clarence said, the gray light. So I don't really know.
So in response to you saying how, you would stop talking and you were listening, Addie says it's so neat to see because you can tell when your train of thought is stopping because you're basically being interrupted by a ghost.
Yes, they are very rude. You have to remember most of the earthbound spirits that I run into from in people's houses or from a portal haven't talked to a live person in years. And so they just keep running off at the mouth. They just keep talking and talking and talking. It's almost like somebody drops a quarter in their ear and they just don't shut up. So, and if I think it's something pertinent that the owner needs to know, that's when I will pay closer attention to what they're saying. Moms, you're going to know what I mean. You've got a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 4-year-old that the minute they wake up, mommy, look, mommy, I got to tell you this, mommy, come and see this, mommy, you know what? Eventually you don't hear it. And that's the same thing. I just don't pay attention to it.
And it's like, I knew what was happening watching, but given who I work with all the time, mediums and stuff, like I see it all the time. So it doesn't, but it's a good thing, to point out because I just rolled with it and knew what was going on and didn't think to point it out because.
Right.
Let's see. So Renee says, once they're in a portal, can they ever get out since they can't go outside of a portal?
The only thing that they can do, Renee, is one of two things. Let me make the white light so they can go into it, or they have to go back to the portal. That's totally it. And I'm so curious, Renee, how much snow did you guys get in Minnesota?
I wonder if it had to be more than us, I
don't know. I'm looking at about 14 inches out my front door. That's not including the 8-foot snow drift.
A friend of mine's dad was saying they got, feet and he had to go out a window because he couldn't push the door open.
Yeah, we couldn't get out of the house yesterday at all. And the driveway was plowed once in the middle of the night. And then we tried, and then the guy's plow broke, so he couldn't do it again. And we had to try to find somebody else to get us out. And we did eventually, but and this in Cleveland, this is really our first heavy snowfall this year. So we're lucky, but this is Cleveland. This is what happens.
Well, probably the first good amount we've had in 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, we've been lucky, knock on wood. We've been really lucky that it hasn't been worse. Of course, when you're a kid, everything is always worse. You walk 3 miles to school uphill both ways. Uphill going back home too. Yeah. Right. So, but maybe it just looked deeper then because we were smaller. I don't
know. Can portals open in cars?
No, I've never. Well, I should never say no to anything, but I have never found a portal in a car. And that's a good point because people fight like hell in cars. But
right.
No, I've never found a portal and I have found a portal on a floor in a basement a few times. It is just not common. Plus the fact in Margie's house, the house that was just done, that was so unusual to have a 900 square foot house with 2 portals in it. that usually doesn't happen either.
Let's see. So Rhonda says, is there such a thing as portal mapping? And it's kind of funny because I don't think we talked about it here. But in the conversations with Clarence, he talked about how some of those portals opened up into other houses on that same street. So even though he's no longer at that house, he's still bumping along that street.
Oh yeah, he could be in any one of those other houses. Like the neighbor that lives next door to that house owns that house and 4 or 5 other houses on the street that Clarence told me about, which, Margie actually said, yeah, he's right. And yeah, of course, he could be in any one of he could be in the house next door watching.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So
what does she mean by mapping?
I don't know quite honestly, but I just remember him saying, he knew where all those ones were into all of those houses. So
that's because he's been there. Yeah. That's a question I've never asked. What was the last portal you were in? Or what was the last house you were in? I've just never asked that question.
Now I want to know if above the portal, is there some sort of identifying marker so they know this one goes to this house, this one goes to this house,
Yeah, like
it's going back.
Yeah, road signs. I don't know. So these are questions if we ever do this again.
Yeah.
I don't know. If we did this again, maybe I should have a microphone, because when my head is turned or my head is down, it's hard to hear. Again, guys, this was the first time we've ever done this, and it remains to be seen if we'll do it again. So
yeah, I mean, this was also an empty house, as you could see, so it was very echoey.
Yeah.
Which kind of helped out some, but at the same time, even with telling the software to reduce echo and background noise, you could still hear it. So,
and again, that's like you say, it's an empty place, and it always echoes like that. And you can understand too, like Margie didn't want the front of the house filmed because she didn't want, she was kind enough to let us do it, but she is going to try to sell it or rent it. And who wants to say, oh, I'm in the haunted house that used to be haunted. So when I do houses, and that's the problem with people that keep contacting me from studios. Oh, we have to do a reality TV show. We have to do this. We have to do that. And their excuse for not doing a reality TV show is, number one, I'm too old and I don't have a hunk working with me, like apparently most Ghostbusters have. It's like, oh, well, I consider my husband a hunk. He puts up the seats. So,
Well, there was a lot of hi Ted, so Ted
yeah,
hi to him when he was on screen. And I kind of purposely left that part in there, knowing that people wanted to see Ted.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Camera's good to him. He looks good. So
Karen says we need to put a GPS on Clarence.
So wouldn't that be funny? Yeah.
An ankle bracelet.
Yeah. You should be used to it.
Well, and Addie points out too, taking this from Margie. The funny thing is that buying a home that's been cleared by Marianne is probably safer than any other home they could buy. So,
well, and it's funny because I do a lot of work for a lot of real estate agents. Because if they've got a portal in a house that they're trying to sell, or it's got, earthbound spirits in it, that house is going to be terrible to sell. Of course, in this day and age, you can buy a house for any kind of money now. But, and there are some people that still to this day, when they go to an open house, run their hands above the top of the doorway to see if there's a seed there. And if there is, they know the house is clear. And real estate agents have told me that. And they have to laugh when they see somebody doing it because they think they're sneaky and doing it. So the husband or the wife will keep her busy, the real estate agent busy, and then when usually the husband goes over and runs his hands over. So, and then after they know they're there, it's like, well, if we buy the house, do we get to keep the seats?
I even, when I was moving out of the house and my friend in there, and I was kind of like, do I nice and leave the seats there for her? Because that whole town just.
Well, that house, yeah, that's such a unique house. But you know me personally. You didn't have to worry about it for this place.
I don't want to be that friend that's constantly like, I need
Yeah, but that's
let's see. And especially since the gentleman that we were working with here is, an inmate and known to fighting. What happens when two earthbounds who hated each other in life see each other in a portal, especially those who fought in prison?
I don't know because I can't see inside when they're not out of a portal. And that's probably why only one person can come out of a portal at a time. You never have more than one. Now, again, back to this particular house with two portals, that house conceivably could have two spirits in it from the two separate portals. That's another question we didn't ask Clarence. Was there anybody out of the other portal when you were coming out of your portal? He knew about Sean, the guy that was just earthbound and coming in and out and doing damage, but he never mentioned another one from the portal, so I don't know.
And Vangela asked, do the earthbounds inside a portal communicate with one another? And he kind of referenced that because he's like, he wouldn't even associate with certain killers depending on how and who he killed.
That's right. So I would imagine that the same thing would happen inside of the chamber, inside of a portal that happens in somebody's house. The energy is probably affected if they're too close to one another. That's why in a house, they're never in the same room at the same time.
Let's see if we have any more questions in regard to this. There's a couple questions outside of the video. But it was a pretty interesting thing to watch you do it, because somebody asked you, what's it like watching yourself do the work?
Weird, really, really weird. As a matter of fact, it's really funny. Anytime I'm ever do a TV spot or anything, I don't watch it. And because I critique the whole thing. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, my head was turned. They couldn't hear me. I laughed too loud. I think everybody is their own worst critic.
Mm-hmm. Though Anton said if we wanted to do this again, he's got access to professional equipment and a house that's full. So we may need to reach out or have Anton, connect with us and see. But you got to be in the Cleveland area.
I was just going to say that's probably not somebody local.
And then Denise, says, let us know if the house sells and how long after closing the portal. So Margie, you'll have to keep us up to date. Well,
I think she was planning, it's such a cute house. I really think she was leaning toward renting it more than selling it, I think. But we'll have to ask her. I don't really know.
Oh, Anton says he plans on calling you.
Okay.
Let's see. No, okay. So we'll get into some of the other questions. Oh, and Anton says he's in Euclid, so he is local.
Oh, close. Okay.
So there was the question about, here we go. It says if a person carries a quinseed and then another starts carrying it, does that cause a problem? Well, no, because Mary has hauling them around and then you buy it.
No, not at all. The quinseeds don't affect each other at all. So no, you're fine.
This could be.
Didn't Margie that day have 3 quinseeds on her?
Yeah.
Yes.
One was from the truck. One was, yeah. So.
Yeah, right. So she had 3 of them on it.
But Gina says this could be a good house selling point. House for sale, seeds included.
Seriously, some lady called and her house was for sale for 6 months. This was before everybody went crazy buying houses. This was about 5 or 6 years ago, and she had a house over $3 million. And so she sold it, and she called me up a few days before they were going to sign the final papers. And she says, "Now remind me, what do I do?" I said, "Run around the last day you're in the house, take all your seeds down from the fireplaces." I think there were like 8 fireplaces in that house, and all the doors and everything. Call me when you get to your new place and you can put them back up. She said, "Okay." She says, "Well, I'm signing the papers." It was a Wednesday. "I'm signing the papers on Wednesday." I said, "Okay." Wednesday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, there's urgent. I mean, this phone, you got to, it's her. And I said, "What's the matter?" She goes, "The people wouldn't sign the papers if I didn't leave the quince seeds." I said, "You told them about it?" She said, "No, but they must have ran their hands over everything because they knew they were there." And I said, "Don't lose the sale. Let them keep them. I'll send you more for your new house." So yeah, people are definitely aware of them.
If I get that big house in Tucson at some point, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll have to put a quince bush in your yard.
ELW asked, did the same thing that happened to Jim in the Ghost Whisperer, the walk-in, happened to Ted in real life?
No, never. Ted, that was a TV show. My husband was never a paramedic. I never owned an antique store. My husband has been alive for 75 years. He's never had a near-death experience. So yeah, no. The show was fiction. The only thing that was real on the shows in 5 years, except for one, every one of them were my stories lumped together with, the writers would call, we need something with car accidents. We need something where people died in fires. We need something where people drowned. So I would go back through and think, well, I did this house and this house is similar in this house. I would give them all the information. They would lump it together and make 42 minutes for the hour show because the rest are commercials. And that's how the show, but no, personally, no. They never showed on Ghost Whisperer her making the white light ever. It just appeared.
Mm-hmm.
That always just never made me happy about that. But that's what they wanted to do.
Okay, so Sherry asks if portals can be in a mirror, in an old mirror.
I have found them in old mirrors. Yes, absolutely.
And then Brooke, I think here she says, could you still see the portals while watching the video? Could you actually tell from the video there was the portal there if you hadn't already been there in person?
No, because even when I talk to people on Zoom, I can sense where it is. I don't actually see it because when I'm talking to people on Zoom, they're usually sitting stationary and the portal is in a bedroom or in a hallway someplace. So I just know it's there.
Mm-hmm. And did I take pics inside the house? I did not. My phone was pretty much constantly recording. So out of, this was about just under 41 minutes. There was probably over an hour's worth of stuff between my phone and then like another hour's worth of stuff from, my colleague Lori's phone. And I had to like mesh these all together and pick which one of us was shaking a little less, which one had the better angle, who had the better sound, and try to piece these all together and cut out excess, conversations and bits that weren't really needed to shorten this down. So
now you know why editors on movie sets make so much money.
Yeah, I do this. Well, and I even told you at one point, I'm like, there were pieces and parts of the conversation that I could have cut out if it was audio only. But with it being video, I can't stand jerky cuts.
Right.
And had I done that, I'm like, oh, that would have just annoyed me. And I'm like, I'd just rather leave it in than have jerky movement.
And that's it. And that's why I keep referring to the Blair Witch Project, because they're the whole time, that whole thing that you ever watched, it was just shaking constantly. It was like enough to make your car sick.
Yeah.
So I think I watched 37 seconds of that before I went, oh no, I'm done. So yeah, it was just too much.
Yeah. So, and this is just a perfect thing. People always think that their hands are completely still, and they're not.
Never. Well, you're breathing.
Mm-hmm. So
we had to do a tape for somebody that wanted to do a sizzle. When you put together a tape to give to studios to view to see if they want you to come in and talk to you, the tape you send them is called a sizzle. And even when sizzles are done, they use stands to put, or what's it called, that the camera's on.
Mhm.
Because, and the one time this one company needed something and they sent us a camera, they wanted us to talk. And so Ted was working with the camera, and those cameras are so sensitive, you could hear him breathing on it.
Mm-hmm.
You could hear Ted breathing. It's hard to do. It is really hard to do.
Mm-hmm. And this was literally me and her with our iPhones.
That's right. So it was, like I said, I didn't want people to get too excited about this because, how many of you, or how many will we find out halfway through went, this is too long, too boring, I'm done, and they just went off for the night, either the morning. So it just depends.
Mm-hmm. So we are already a little after 11.
Yes, we are.
So we're going to ask everybody, tripod. Well, and that's what I said. I would invest in a tripod should we keep doing these, but this was that one time. So if we do these, we'll get, more advanced stuff, but this was just a one-time show you guys how it's done. But since it's already a little after 11, I have to leave here and go up and run the store for the day.
So, okay, real fast. We are still in Mercury retrograde until the February 3rd. It's going to last a little bit to the 4th too, because it doesn't clear up here until like 11 o'clock at night. The Zoom for this month is full. The next one that is open is Friday, February 11th. I will be at the store, Goddess Elite, on February 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add to that, Melissa?
The
seminary?
Yeah, we do have the seminary coming up in March. We still have a few openings for the 5 to 8, but we have a lot of openings for that 10 to midnight. So that quieter, spookier, and more dark time frame. So if you want to join us out there, that is open. So when you go to the website to book, you'll see it listed twice, but each one will have its designated time slots. There are some other in-person, the Merry-Go-Round Museum's already listed and up. And there's a few more that we're just kind of hashing out final dates and times. So there'll be some more in-person events coming up throughout the year. Your video tonight is
going to be this. We're going to show, because the Wednesday evening 5:31 isn't as long as this. We're going to show the first half of this today, and we'll show the second half next Wednesday.
Cool deal. So you can watch it either all together again or break it up.
Or whatever you want to do. But thanks so much, and everybody have a good, safe, warm week. It's so cold out.
Yes. Oh, and Anton, I have to take off work, but I have tripods and all the stuff you need. And really, he's just wanting the house cleared so we can use his professional in the house. So leave a message from inside the house when you can, Anton. But thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week at 10 a.m. And bring your questions if we didn't get to them today because of the video. Just come back.
And you'll be in Tucson, right? Next Wednesday?
I will. So I'll be in warm Tucson. I'm sitting here kind of like cold, and I didn't want to be rude to get up and walk away and go grab my hoodie. So I've been sitting here kind of cold. Next week, I'll be in Tucson doing this before hitting some of the gem shows. So
okay. So we'll see everybody next week then. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.